4,000 Americans who've lost their lives to the pandemic in this last year. Yolanda Ashton, hallelujah. Let's bring in Dr. Jen Ashton for more on this right now. You've been covering this every minute of the day for the last year. Those flags now representing the lives lost as well. Far and away, the biggest challenge facing the president-elect.
It certainly is, George, and it is historic in the sense of medicine, science, and public health, not just in the United States, but worldwide. COVID-19 now the leading cause of death here in the United States. There are now at least 401,777 American lives lost due to COVID-19. That's not a statistic. Those are people. Those are lives disrupted. So as a country, we are in critical condition, and the challenges facing this new administration are enormous.
We heard President Trump in his final speech talk about the miracle of the vaccine, and it truly was remarkable that the vaccine came out breaking all records to have these vaccines approved through the FDA emergency process. Now the challenge is getting them to the people who need them.
It sure is, and we have to celebrate the successes in medicine and science that the vaccine development globally has achieved. It has never been done that quickly, that safely before, and it was a result of unprecedented global collaboration in both the public and private sectors, again, not just here in the U.S., but worldwide. And we heard the transition team state their objective: 100 million doses of the vaccine, their goal to be injected into 100 million people in the first 100 days. That has to happen when you are facing numbers, cases, and deaths that we are seeing right now that are only going sharply up. So we have to figure out a way how to operationalize this vaccination campaign. True, we have never embarked upon an endeavor of this magnitude before, but you know, George, we do have resources that other parts of the world don't have, and I do have optimism and hope that we will be able to correct our mistakes in the past, learn from those mistakes as we do in regular medicine and clinical care, and turn that around, because as a country, if you look at our country as a patient, we are in critical condition. There is no doubt about it.
Jen Ashton, thank you. I want to bring Clyburn now, Congressman Jim Clyburn, the single man next to Joe Biden, more responsible than anyone else, probably for the fact that he is going to take the oath of office today. Congressman Clyburn, thanks for joining us. Right now, a year ago this month, Joe Biden was doing dismally in Iowa and New Hampshire. You brought him around in South Carolina. Your thoughts on this morning?
Well, thank you very much for having me. I am very pleased to see this contrast developing that I think the country needs to experience. The fact of the matter is, Joe Biden started off this morning in a very quiet, solemn way with a church service, and it was so meaningful to me that there in those pews were the leaders from both sides of the Congress, and I think that is a bit symbolic of what you're going to see for the next several weeks. The leadership of both parties trying to get this country back on track towards its pursuit of perfection. We'll never be a perfect country, we know that. But we've got to always be in pursuit of that perfection. And it takes both parties and its leaders work to get that done. And you ought to, just by saying it, announcing it, you've got to practice it. So Joe Biden started practicing what he's preached during this campaign.
He's by inviting the leaders there, but the divisions, as you know, Congressman, are so deep right now. We all know that just 2 weeks ago that Capitol was overrun by rioters. We know on that same day, an overwhelming majority of your Republican colleagues in the House weren't even accepting that Joe Biden was a legitimate winner of the election.
Well, let's just hope that's behind us. You know, I look upon deep divisions the same way I look upon long journeys. They start with a single step. And so hopefully this morning is one step up, and maybe this afternoon doing the inaugural address, it'll be 2 steps up, and we'll keep taking the steps that are necessary to climb out of this deep divided chasm that we're in.
You also heard a lot of your Republican colleagues saying that the fact that you all impeached President Trump 1 week ago was a sign that the Democrats were not able to unite the country, that it would create more division. What's your answer to that?
My answer to that is very simple. If I might use a metaphor again, there was a cancerous growth in this country. And you do not get rid of a cancerous growth unless you cut it out. You got to get it out of us.
So it ain't multiplying. Cut it down.
Cleanse this system. Nobody in his or her right mind will come to any other conclusion except that Trump was just a bad malignancy on this country that we had to get rid of. So we have impeached him, and I hope that the Senate will convict him, and I hope they will then take the vote not to ever allow him to hold office again. That is the cleansing that the country needs. We can't allow this country to collapse because of the craziness of one person. And I do call it that because I think that is what we have been. We've been on a crazy downward spiral for 4 years. And it's time for us to get rid of that one person so the rest of this country can continue its journey toward perfection.
You said it well.
Every time we read about that siege, it becomes more shocking. Do you think it was enough of a shock to the system to actually create the foundation for cooperation in Congress going forward?
I think so, and the indications are all there. A lot of people were surprised yesterday to hear the speech that McConnell gave. A lot of people were surprised to hear what the leader of the House, the Republican leader of the House, had to say when he stood up to this president and says, "No, not Antifa. This is MAGA. These were your followers that did this. And let's just say it. Let's put it out on the table so that we can get it behind us. To continue to deny what is fact is to continue the downward spiral."
Congressman, you saved Joe Biden's candidacy. What's your one word of advice for him today?
Be yourself. 2 words. Be yourself.
Congressman, thanks for your time this morning. Enjoy the day.